I've got a little bit of a challenge, and I am going to shoot a little video here and show you how I work through solving it. So let me show you what's going on. This is the one-way Wolverine jig. This is the ideal way to hold a bowl gouge, to sharpen it for a swept back grind or an Ellsworth grind. This allows you to get a consistent sharpening angle repeatedly. Okay, now I have been sharpening this with this grind by hand using a platform tilted to 60 degrees, but I'd like to figure out a way to use my Wolverine jig on my Sorby Pro Edge system so that I can be a little bit more consistent. So if you use the Pro Edge or the Wolverine jig, the one-way Wolverine, you know that it comes with this mounting, sliding mounting bracket. You loosen it up here, you move it in and out, okay? And that works really well for wheels because it mounts directly under the wheel. Well, the Pro Edge, the way it sits, this won't fit underneath the bottom of the Pro Edge system. So I have to mount it under. So I've got blocks so that I can get it under there, right? The problem is it's too low. And let me show you what I mean by that. When you put your Wolverine jig in and you want to come over to this side, run it into blocks, where if it's up a little higher, I can get all the way across and get that long wing. It's not so bad, whoops, it's not as bad on the right side. As you can see, I can get up there, but over here, I've got the base, the mechanism, all that. So this needs to be higher. Now, it's important as I get this higher so that I can get my Wolverine jig in there. The tool has to be in a place where it's going to rest against that platen as I'm sharpening. That's what gives me a little backing so that you can get a nice sharp tool, and otherwise it'll do this and you're not going to get straight sharpened edges. You're going to get weirdness if you're up here. So you need to be able to hit that platen as you're sharpening. Now I need to raise that block about 2 inches. I don't have a 2-inch thick piece here. That's 1.5. A little less than 1.5, but actually this might be sufficient. But I'm also not 100% certain that this little method is going to work. So what I'm going to do is make a block that's perhaps a little bit smaller than it should be and see if it's going to be sufficient. And if it is, then we'll go ahead and use it. But if I need to get the jig raised a little bit higher, I can either add to this or find a thicker piece of scrap to use. So this is all very much experimental. I have a problem and I'm trying to find a solution. And if it works, it's going to be amazing. So let's see what we can do. So a rough test fitting here shows me that this will give us the height, but obviously we have a little bit of an issue right here. So what I think I will do is remove a section straight across here so that we still have the steel backing plate from the V4 mount to catch that, but we'll get most of the way raised. In fact, we can probably take about 1/2 inch off and still get the tool up where we need it against the platen and have much, much better clearance. Far better clearance. The width of the pencil got in the way. There we go. And I don't have a wood clamp, so I realize that I'm getting my fingers very close to this blade, but we will be very, very cautious. Okay, this sits in here, but may not be sufficient. And actually, this end's a little lower. I don't know that that's going to be sufficient enough for that to catch. We need kind of a channel. See, that sits down in that pocket. So we've eliminated that pocket. We need to do something to create another pocket here. But that works. That's high enough. Now, when we cut something here to create another pocket, we're going to lose a little bit of height, but overall, look how much further I can swing that tool around. I'm going to be able to get my long wings for that Ellsworth style grind. So I absolutely want to use this. I want to get this is going to be exactly what we need, but we need to cut a little bit of a V here, I think. And that should allow the butt of this tool to kind of slide back and rest on the steel. And that should solve the issue. Okay, we'll set that right there. We have a little V notch. That should allow the tool to be held. We have raised it up. I have immense amount more clearance. I'm able to get all the way across over there. All the way across there. You can see how that's going to stretch out those wings and give me longer wings, which is part of how the Ellsworth grind works, or Irish grind, is these long wings. So raising that up with this block has given me much more clearance. And that's going to give me a very consistent grind. Now, this is obviously not acceptable. But what I don't want to do is glue or screw this in a way that's going to make it so that it's not easily removed. This is one of the cases where hot glue is going to solve the problem. So we're going to set up the hot glue gun and glue that in there. This may not be the most elegant solution for this issue. I am not a welder and I don't have any metal working tools. So this is the solution I was able to come up with that's going to enable me to get the result I need when I'm sharpening my bowl gouges without costing me a lot of money or me taking it somewhere to have somebody who does have welding experience and the right tools build something. So you can do that, absolutely, but if you're balling on a budget like I am, this is a way to go. Now there's still a little bit of tool clearance issues, but that gives me a nice, clean, consistent grind all the way around. This will get cleaned up and picked up as I continue to use the gouge and sharpen it. But there I have 60-degree angle, which is the angle that you're supposed to sharpen a Ellsworth grind to, and it's nice and sharp. This gouge is ready to go.